Hello again, everyone. This is Zombie Kids Rule, and I'm going to try to do some more videos of the Steam Deck. And this video is going to be just a very simple comparison of the two, the Steam Deck and the OneXPlayer Mini AMD. If you've looked at my channel, you know that I have quite a few videos of different Steam gameplay on the OneXPlayer. I'm just starting to do Steam Deck stuff. This is not the ideal setup to do this. I think I mentioned in my previous video just before this that there's problems with recording gameplay on the Steam Deck using like OBS. You have to have some other stuff. You have to have a capture card or you have to have other ways of doing this. And I'm not a techie person. I'm not doing this professionally. I'm not trying to do this for making any money or anything. So this is just very low tech. And I just want to put some information out there that might help folks. I'm an older gamer. I'm an older user. So my impressions, this video is going to be about my simple impressions of the differences between the Steam Deck and the OneXPlayer Mini AMD. It's not going to get into technical specs because that's not me. If you want to know information about tech stuff, technical specifications, there are lots of videos out there with people who know a lot more than I do, and I'm sure you can find stuff to help you. So I want to start off, but just by saying I'm going to cut right to the chase. I vastly prefer the Steam Deck over the OneXPlayer. I only got the OneXPlayer because the Steam Deck was taking so long. I ordered the Steam Deck the end of September 2021, and I didn't get it until about a week ago. So it was about 11 months. And so while I was waiting, I saw some stuff out there, saw that there were other handhelds, did some investigation, decided on buying the OneXPlayer, which was just coming out. The AMD version of the Mini was just coming out. It's somewhat comparable, but I'll just say on all the things that I find important, the Steam Deck is vastly superior. I'm just going to come right out and say that, cut right to the chase. The cost, the Steam Deck is a lot cheaper. It is bigger, but it's very comfortable to use. The OneXPlayer is Windows based, and that's what it boots up to. And I'm going to show you in just a minute. I'll show you some features of the OneXPlayer and how it works, and then I'll show you the Steam Deck in case you haven't seen it. But Steam Deck boots right up into the gaming mode. It's ready to go, and it boots right up there. You can start gaming, start playing whatever you want to do. It's got features built specifically for that. And then you can always drop to desktop mode. So there are some differences. There are some limitations, I'd say. Windows-based stuff versus Linux. I'm not a Linux user, so I'm new to that. But by all checks and by all of my boxes that need to be checked, I would pick the Steam Deck any day over the OneXPlayer. If I had been able to buy the Steam Deck, I would have just bought it outright and got it delivered, and I would never have bothered to get the OneXPlayer. So as you can see on my desk here, again, this is not the ideal setup for recording the video, but you can see the OneXPlayer is on top. You can see the size difference versus the Steam Deck. I'm going to go ahead and show the OneXPlayer first. So here's the deal. The OneXPlayer, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, to really use it efficiently, you have to have a mouse. You just need to. There's no trackpads, as you can see. You've got your joysticks. You've got your, the buttons that you would expect to have here from a controller. You've got your D-pad. You've got similar buttons as the Steam Deck does. Big difference here is that the OneXPlayer does have a button specifically for the keyboard. You just press that button and it brings up the on-screen keyboard. Whereas with the Steam Deck, you have to press the Steam button and X to pull that up. I do prefer this feature better, where you just have a simple button, you press it, and the on-screen keyboard pops up. There's also a button down here for your fan. You can actually do things with the fan on the OneXPlayer. I don't play around with that, but it could be useful for some folks. So this is really critical. This is the power supply, headphone jack, the volumes, the power button. This I use all the time with the wireless mouse because it's critical. You've got the two triggers, the two buttons. There are no buttons on the back like the Steam Deck has. it's also not as deep. So when you set this down, there is space. There is a space where the airflow can still go, but the Steam Deck, it's actually sits higher. I can get quite a few fingers underneath the Steam Deck, whereas this one it's really can't. And I do kind of like that with the Steam Deck because you can set it on more surfaces and still get the airflow through than you can with the OneXPlayer. The OneXPlayer does have the bottom power supply as well, which is nice because you have versatility. I believe these two are for the docking station. If you want to buy a docking station for the OneXPlayer, I didn't buy it. When I bought this OneXPlayer, it was about $1,100, so it's quite a bit more expensive than the highest version of the Steam Deck, which is what I also bought. Screens are comparable; they're about the same size. This doesn't have the anti-glare, so there's that. I do like the anti-glare on the Steam Deck. But let me go ahead and boot this up and show you kind of. I'm going to try not to get my face too many times or the ring there. Sorry. So it boots up pretty quick. It's not too bad. Boots up pretty fast, and it boots right up to Windows. So it's a Windows-based operating system. So you can double-click the A to pull up the pin, but then of course that's my name, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I changed my name from my virtual thing. But basically, it pulls up your pin, and you have to either tap on it, the touch screen, or you could use a mouse. And then you use the touch screen, or you can use your mouse to punch in your pin. And once you do that, I'm not really too much concerned if you guys freeze that and see my name. I'm not really a big deal. I'm not worried about it. But so this pops up. This is just because I have GOG and it automatically pops up. But you can see right here, even with my mouse attached and the touchscreen usable, I can't close this window because the X is hidden. And it's not like I can grab it and drag it. It's not like I can use my mouse pointer here to grab the window and drag it. So the only way I can get rid of that, unless I make it not show up at launch, is to tilt the OneXPlayer so I can get access to the actual X to close the window, and I can use the touchpad. I mean the touch screen, or I can use the mouse. But now once it's here, you have to use a mouse. I mean, I can use the touchpad to activate things, but my fingers are pretty big. Some of this is pretty small. You'd have to change maybe the display to see how large it is. But realistically, I need to use the mouse to move things around and to activate. So that's how I use it primarily. If I do press this keyboard button, it does pop up the on-screen keyboard, and then I can move that around with the touchpad or with my mouse. So it does have the on-screen keyboard, and then it just minimizes it. So what I do primarily, like if you want to use this for it's a Windows-based thing, so I could do anything I wanted to, which I could with a laptop or a regular computer. But usually I activate OBS if I want to do recordings, or I go into Steam, and once Steam pops up, right, it's the same as any other normal computer, and then I can do whatever I would normally do. Most of the time, I'll go into big picture mode, and when I'm using the OneXPlayer, so I go into big picture mode, and then I can use my controllers, right? I can use the D-pad. I can use my left joystick to move things around. You can use the A button to select. I have my library, so it's typical big picture mode, which is perfectly fine. I will show something here, like for instance, I did a video for the Steam Deck on Wizardry 6, and so I'm just going to go and show you how this plays on the OneXPlayer. So I'm here. I'm going to go into Wizardry 6 just like I did with the Steam Deck, and go ahead and turn this up, and it works the same way. And I'm going to use my oops, let's see. It was working fine. Let's see. How come it's not doing it now? Come on. Well, usually it was working. I just tested this, and I can't click through it. Why can't I click through it? So I'm going to go ahead and tap on it. Nope. There we go. Oh, I know. Sorry. I was getting confused between the Steam Deck already and the OneXPlayer. This was my point I was trying to make. I have to use the mouse. So on the Steam Deck, I have the trackpad, and the trackpad moves the on-screen mouse, and you use the trigger to do the select on the Steam Deck in gaming mode. On the OneXPlayer, I have to use the mouse, the virtual. I'm sorry, the wireless mouse, and you can see my mouse moving now, and it moves pretty slowly because for some of these games I had to slow down. I had to make the mouse move slower so that I could actually get it, to the exact spot I needed in some of these games. Now this game has really big selectable options for a lot of the stuff, really easy text to read. So you have to use the external mouse. I can't click on it with the touch screen. It doesn't. This old game doesn't do that. I can't use the joysticks. I can't use the D-pad. None of the buttons work on this game on the OneXPlayer. Going into the Steam, big picture mode. So I have to use a mouse. And then once I do that, I can do any of the things that you would normally play. So this game is definitely playable on the OneXPlayer. It just really requires you to have a mouse. And that's not a huge inconvenience, I guess. But if I want to play somewhere where it's not convenient to set a mouse and to scroll it around, then that's a challenge. That's a problem. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and quit that. And again, it goes back to the Steam, and that's pretty much how this functions on the OneXPlayer. And so again, I can I'm just going to drop out of I'm going to drop out of here. So the controls do work in big picture mode, which is great. That's wonderful. But once I'm back to the desktop, again, most of what I have to do, I'm going to need that wireless mouse to do it. So that's one thing. Again, it's a nice handheld. It's powerful enough to do quite a bit of things. As a computer, as a Windows-based computer. But when you're in the desktop mode, none of these controls work. Okay, none of them work in desktop mode. And when you're in Steam, the big picture mode, the controls work fine. But in a lot of games, the controls are not going to work because there's no way to do it. That you don't have a trackpad. So a lot of the games that I like to play are mouse and keyboard games. They require in Steam, in the Steam Deck, it uses the trackpad, which is great. This doesn't have it. So and then you can put this to sleep. So just like, well, I don't know if it's really necessary to sleep, but the screen is definitely dark. And then when you press it, it does. It should come. There we go. It does come back up, and it makes you log in again. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just so I can get rid of it. And we'll go ahead and once I'm back in, that's pretty much the features of the OneXPlayer. Again, not a bad handheld, but it's going to be more limited in games than the Steam Deck. And so, again, I can use the touch screen, but then of course your touch screen is going to get it's going to get fingerprints on it, and it's going to get dirty really fast. I'm constantly wiping the screen off on the OneXPlayer. So that's the OneXPlayer. Then we have the Steam Deck, and again, I did an unboxing video. I did a kind of little tiny comparison. There's lots of other videos out there, but you've got your AXYB. You've got your two joysticks up here, which I actually kind of like that better than the up and down version from the OneXPlayer. You've got your D-pad. The trackpad is what I really appreciate. It's not the easiest to use, really not. It takes some getting used to, but it's not bad. It's usable, and it makes the use of the Steam Deck a lot more functional without an external mouse, without like a plug-in mouse. It does have the Steam button, which you use quite a bit. In gaming mode, you use this the ellipses button down here, and these other two buttons like the like the OneXPlayer has. You've got your power, you've got you've got the power supply here, your headphones, your volume up and down. You've got your triggers, your buttons, and then of course you guys have probably already seen, you've got the additional 2 buttons on the back, which I haven't really tested anything yet that natively uses these as a controller configuration. But again, configuring the controller, I haven't played around with it, but it is easy to get to. Just by pressing the Steam button, it pops right up with being able to configure the controllers. So I do like the layout. It is bigger. I was a little concerned that because I'm used to holding the OneXPlayer and just kind of gripping it, and so I was a little concerned that when I first got this, I can immediately feel the L34 and R34 buttons on the back. And I was concerned that I would press those, but it hasn't turned out to be a concern so far. It was weird at first, but now it's not bad at all. So when you press the button, this actually loads up pretty darn fast. It's going to boot right up, and it's going to go immediately into gaming mode, so that you're ready to just start Steam right off the bat. It goes into gaming mode in Steam, and it lets you start playing whatever you want to. Doesn't take a great deal of time. It should be almost booted up here. There we go. And it's going to pop up. It's going to take me into Steam, and there I am. And I did download the Heroic Games Launcher to mess around with GOG, with Good Old Games, to see how that functions, and I'm happy to say it functions pretty well. I also tested this the other day at work, where I don't have an internet connection, and I tested it with the games that I already have in my installed on from my library. I just installed a few games, and I did launch them at least once to make sure that there would be no problems. And booted it up at work, no internet connection, and the game loaded up perfectly fine, no problem. Just didn't have to worry about offline mode or anything like that. It just booted up the game, and I was able to play it. So I'm in my installed things. If I go over to the non-Steam games, this is where you could find your games that you actually connect, non-Steam games, or the Heroic Games Launcher, where I can go into my GOG library. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, the controls work here in this version. So this is awesome. And I already showed you the Wizardry 6, where once the game loads up, you use the trackpad to move the mouse and the trigger to actually go ahead and select things. So that works natively. When you press the Steam button, you get your navigation thing of home, library, store, friends and chat, media downloads, settings, where you can go into a variety of different things, and then power, where you can actually set the Steam Deck to sleep. You can shut it down, you can restart it, change accounts, restart the Steam client, switch to desktop. That's one of the things when you need to jump to desktop, or of course cancel. When you click the ellipses button, you have a variety of options. You've got things about your notifications, your friends, a bunch of quick settings, like I know you can't really see it that well, but brightness, audio, the microphone, airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, night mode, controller, game rumble, Steam haptics. Those are all right there. You have a variety of performance stuff. Battery tells you what your projected battery life is. Right now, mine is 6.5 hours. I will say that right now too. The OneXPlayer, I didn't tweak any settings. I don't tweak the games that I play, because I play from home. I can plug it in anytime I want. But the OneXPlayer, I was only getting like 2 hours of charge. I was always plugging it in. Now it charges really super fast. The OneXPlayer charges faster than the Steam Deck, from my impressions, but you don't play as long on the OneXPlayer. The Steam Deck, from what I've been doing so far, I'm getting 4 or 5 hours easy of use out of it. Now I'm not playing demanding games, I'm not doing things like that, but just overall, I'm definitely getting at least twice the battery life, maybe more, just from just regular usage without tweaking anything. Then they have performance levels. You can go into different performance settings. You can limit your frame rate, your refresh rate, shading, all these different things that would potentially help you get more battery life or whatever from your game. So, and it does have diagnostics area and things like that. Then there is a help thing where you can go to the help site, you can view the manual, report a bug, that sort of thing. So it's right here. It's pretty nice. It's easy to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, I already showed on another video the Steam X button, which works perfectly fine. It pulls up the keyboard. I don't know if it'll do it now. Yeah, there it is. So Steam X, and it pulls up the keyboard. This is a little awkward because you use your both trackpads to move things around, and you have to click on the trackpad to select. It is a little awkward for me, but I'm getting used to it. So when I go here to desktop mode, this is what happens. So you select desktop, and it's going to drop you to desktop, into the Linux operating system. And I've got a bunch of icons here. I haven't made a folder to put them. These are all the things I downloaded. It does take a second to get the mouse to work, but after that it works fine. But this is the real benefit. The trackpad works the mouse. And yeah, I have to click with the trackpad to select it. But that, to me, that is a vast improvement over the OneXPlayer where I have to use an external mouse. Because this just means I can use the Steam Deck in a lot more places that I might not be able to use the OneXPlayer and still have to use that external mouse. So, I'm not going to go through these features. There's the discovery, the different, I'm still getting used to how to do the folders and things. But the one thing I do want to show you, you can go into Steam app, you can launch things directly from here. I did mention in another video, what I noticed is that, actually, you know what, I'll show that. I'm going to go ahead and show Wizardry 6, because I did do a video on that. So I'm going to go ahead and launch Wizardry 6, and what happens is that the screen is too far, the screen is lowered. It's too far down. And even though my buttons are working, now I can't get out of this game, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what setting I could possibly go in to make it where the screen isn't dropped down like this, and I have no idea how to fix it. And here's the problem: I press buttons, and these buttons don't work because the Steam button, that was built for gaming mode, and so I can't exit out of here. I can't do anything with this. And so realistically, even though I try different things, I'm mashing buttons, I'm trying to do different things, the keyboard doesn't even come up, Steam X doesn't even come up. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? And my only solution that I've found so far is I have to actually power the Steam Deck down, and I have to reboot it. I have to hard reboot it, which, I mean, I'm sure is bad, but that's what I have to do with that sort of thing. Now, that game, Wizardry 6, plays perfectly fine through gaming mode on the Steam Deck. So this is where I ran into a little bit of problem, because I did post a video about, oh, you can't record in gaming mode on the Steam Deck? That's cool. Just drop to the desktop, open up your OBS, and then you can launch a game through the Steam app or from the desktop icon, which is true. But this particular game, like Wizardry 6, there's that visibility problem, and you can't play the game. It's not operational. So I was like, oh no, that's not good. And here I am back in gaming mode. So in gaming mode, I already showed Wizardry 6 plays perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to go ahead and drop back out of there. Whoops, not yet. Power, and then I'm going to go to Switch Desktop. Then go back to the desktop mode, and again, it actually goes to desktop mode faster than it goes back to gaming mode. And again, you have to, I'm trying to use the mouse, but it takes like maybe 10 seconds before I can use the mouse again. I have all my features down here where I could look at different settings or what have you. I have my Discover where I can search for apps, my files where I can go to to look for different things. Again, I'm learning as I go. I'm not going to do those updates yet because I just want to show a couple more things. I want to finish this video. Now, over here, there is this return to gaming mode icon, and that's how you go back to gaming mode. So I'm going to do that right now. I clicked it, and you're going to see that it takes a little bit to get back to gaming mode. It's not, I mean, it's not terribly slow, but it's not super fast either. So we're still waiting. Now, there we go. Now it's coming back. So it's not super fast. It takes, you know, maybe 15 seconds, 20 seconds to get back into gaming mode. So now let me just show this. Oh no, I forgot where to do it. Nope. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll go back to my library, and then I'll go to my non-Steam games, and I'll go to Heroic Launcher. And I've only messed around with it. This morning I started messing around with this. So I'm going to play Heroic Game Launcher, and then what it's going to do is it's going to come up, and eventually it's going to say, hey, you can select from Epic, or you can select from GOG. And actually, I'm logged into GOG now, so it actually took me right into my account at GOG, Good Old Games. And then I'm able to, let's see, it's a little awkward. So here I am on the left now. I can navigate. I can also use the D-pad or the settings. I did download this Wizards and Warriors game, and unfortunately, it doesn't play. It doesn't play at all. It launches the game, but then I can't make anything work in it. So I got to figure out how to actually uninstall it now. But I have my whole GOG library here, and so I can download anything I want apparently and play it, or try to play it on the Steam Deck. I will go into this. So I'm in Wizards and Warriors. I installed it, so it is going to launch, and you'll see that it doesn't really function, and that will allow me to show you how I have to exit some games that don't run right. It's not too bad. So here it is, Wizards and Warriors, another old game, but I used to love this. There's no mouse, so the trackpads don't work, joysticks don't work, D-pad doesn't work, none of the buttons work, and the touch screen, I touch it, and you probably can't see it. There's a little finger, a little hand, but it's not working. So nothing works, none of the controls work. I'm not sure if I can make it work through controller configuration or something. But now it's like, oh no, I can't get out of this game. So the nice thing about the Steam Deck in gaming mode is if I'm into something like this and no controls are working, I can just press the Steam button, and now it pulls up the thing where I could, in theory, resume the game. Controller settings, it's right there. I pull up my controller settings, I can start messing with that. Game details, guides, but then there's an exit game option. And so I can just select that, and yes, confirm, I want to exit the game. And that's how I can get out of games that aren't functioning properly in gaming mode. So that's basically what I wanted to show. And the other one thing I wanted to show, the Steam Deck does go to, you can put it to sleep really easily, and then it boots right back up again fast. So if I just press the power button, it's gonna go to sleep, and then if I press the power button again, it actually comes up really fast. So that's not too bad. That's pretty cool. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show. So I'm going to go ahead and put that to sleep, and then I'm going to set this back down here. And so once again, with the comparison between the two, let's see if I can get it to a point where, yeah. So maybe about like that. You can see I've got them lined up on the left edge, so you can see that the Steam Deck is markedly bigger. The screens are about actually the same size. I do like the layout of the screen of the Steam Deck better. I don't mind the size of it. I haven't had any problems with the buttons, reaching anything or clicking on stuff I don't want to. I definitely like the trackpads because for the navigation in the desktop mode, and of course a lot of the games I play that require mouse and keyboard, that trackpad is great, and it is so much easier to use the trackpad than it is to use the joystick when I'm trying to move the mouse around. So that's a great feature. So again, I'll just wrap up and say overall, if I had to do it today and said, look, I can only own one of these devices, it's going to be the Steam Deck, hands down, no doubt. I would pick the Steam Deck any day of the week. I don't think I would change my mind if I wanted to use this as a kind of a desktop either. Once the Steam Deck docking station comes out, I will probably get that, and then you can plug it in and set it up, connect a bunch of stuff to it, just like you would. I could have a monitor and I could have an external keyboard, what have you. I just can't imagine using the OneXPlayer as a regular device now that I have the Steam Deck. I would pick the Steam Deck any day of the week, hands down. It's by far more preferable for me. There's some things I might tweak about it. I might change a tiny bit, but so far it's worked great. I haven't had any of the problems that other people have been reporting, and again, it's a great piece of hardware, easy to use. The controls are pretty easy. There's a lot of stuff out there you can find. OneXPlayer, again, not so much. It's more hit or miss, trial and error. Hard to find information about it. Hard to find, what exactly does this button do? I'm pushing it, it doesn't work. I don't know what it's supposed to do. So there's that. Anyway, I hope this is helpful to some people. Again, it's not techie, right? I didn't go into technical specs. I'm just giving you my impressions as an older gamer, an older user. I'm in my 50s and learning to use handhelds, learning to use console controls. And so, if this helps people, awesome. That's why I do these videos. That's just to share information, because when I need to find something, I reach out, and I'm really happy that somebody has made a video or posted somewhere that I can find what I need. So I just want to give back. So thank you very much, folks. If these videos are helpful, please like, subscribe, get notifications, leave comments, let me know what you think. If you have questions about something, post it, and if I can answer, I'm happy to do so. Just not technical questions, because I probably can't answer those. So thank you very much, folks, and I will be posting some more videos later. So have a great day. Thank you very much.